Okay, so last week we start with the four great elements. So I was thinking that we should not jump to new topics so soon. All right. So at least should dwell on it for one session today before after break we go change the title. Now we already know in the body now there are Patawi, Apo, Tejo, Vayu. So please remember the Pali because it's important. When you learn Abhidhamma, you also learn to this Pali also. And the simile is like the body uh being compared with the cow. And then if somebody cut and the cow into many pieces, then when people ask him, what are you selling? What are you leading? He will not say, I'm leading a cow. He say, this is a meat, this is a bone, this is a skin, and so on. So when we use our sword of wisdom, cut our own body into the four great elements, then we will not cling to as my body. All right, and the Vipassana point say clearly already. So focus internally, externally, and try to see the origin and passing away. This means that even when we are not doing for four great elements, the Patavi, Apo, Tejo, Vayu, try to see how for example, Patavi, we are talking about the hardness, how the hardness come, disappear, or sometimes the hardness might become stronger and stronger and stronger. It change to stiffness, or sometimes the softness becomes soft and soft. Sometimes the body become more cold and hot. So try to see the changes. And you need to have mindfulness until you get the idea is there's the body. All right. There's the body word. There's a body. Atikayo. There's a body. What's the meaning of there's a body? It means that it's not my body. This is just a rupa by itself. So in this way, you have mindfulness. You will not cling to anything in the world. So now, what is this world? Okay, you have printed this one. This world, loke. Loka is not talking about the external world. We are talking about our internal world. The internal world means our nama rupa. So that's how you should remain focused on the body and itself. So there's a body, it's not my body. And this body is made of four great elements. So we call it compactness. When you uh, dissolve it into its elements, then you can see it's not belong to I or mind. But when it's like in compactness, then there's the idea of my body. Okay, so we already go through the notes there, and it's like how we should uh see from the self. We try to see this I and mind, we dissolve it to nama rupa, and from the rupa we go for four great elements, and 32 body parts actually is only the patavi, earth and water only. So we already said wind there are six, and then the water, and then the what fire there are four, right? And how to practice should follow the Buddha's advice, Maharahura Sutta. Okay, now in this sutta, actually, it just say whatever for the earth element, internal earth element, right? So what is hard and harsh and clung to by karma? And then there's two ways to practice about the four great elements. One way, if you just see as general. So when you meditate, we will try later. So when you meditate, you just focus on any part of body that's hard. Hard, hard means solid, right? Harsh means is a rough. Okay, so you can generally just kind of like scan your body to find all these elements. Or another way is if you want to do systematically, you take the 32 body parts one by one. Right? So you focus on the head hair, then you focus on body hair, then you focus on teeth, nails, skin. This is easy if for those we can see our head hair. So you can just like I mean in any time when you hold your head hair, you notice it's hard. And then body hair. Or when you're sitting meditation, you can feel the tongue touching the teeth, right? So you can feel the hardness. The tongue is soft, the teeth is hard, all right? So this is according to this Maharahura Sutta. Just focus on elements one by one, or body parts one by one. All right. And then what is internal? What is a watery? What is a water element? What is water watery? There's a bile, phlegm, pus, blood, and so on. So 12 body parts. Either same, you can just do a general, like you scan the body to find any, like when you feel hot, your body sweat, and then anything phlegm and phlegm tears and so on, or urine when you go to toilet. Or you can do one by one, take one body part, go one by one, one by one, one by one, which is good for people who want to do it very detailed, right? And so also fire element, anything you find inside your cell, there's hot fire like this, right? So according to this, when your body feel warm and when you see the aging in your body, and that is when you have fever. And what is digest? So this is under what is eaten, drunk, chew. So this is under digestion. So we have 4 types of fire. And what is wind? All right, there are 6 types I already mentioned last week. Outward going, when we achoo, like downward going, when you're passing the wind, and then the wind in your belly. All right, so that's the one that when you feel hungry, it go cook 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 sound, and then wind in the bowel that push the food down. Another one is the wind that help us to move around. So that is when you are doing walking meditation, or when you are doing standing, you can feel that like the wind is like, especially I think when you are doing walking meditation, it's much more clear. Like you feel the wind is helping moving the body parts. Or when you are even like me, moving the hand and so on. So this called wind that course throughout the limbs. And of course, anapanasati, in and out breath. So literally when we say, when we note our anapana, what are we literally trying to note? We are trying to see the wind element. And also, like just say, in as a vipassana point, even when you're trying to see the in and out breath, try to see how it arises, how it disappear, right? So try to see everything arising, passing away. Okay. So these are, and then the actually according to Visuddhimagga, from this point is the 32 body parts on the paragraph 39. Okay. So on this category I already mentioned. So you try to see which one you can meditate and which one you can focus. Yeah. Okay. Right. And then last week we already say additional way. This I think some are quite theoretical, right? Right, but we can see how, like for example, another point is like this. We call it the origin. Uh, in Abhidhamma, we learn the karma, chitta, uto, ahara. Karma, consciousness, temperature, nutriment. This is the cause of the body. So it mentioned in the Visuddhimagga, they are the cause of the our great elements. Okay. Okay. Now on Vipassana point, so I already mentioned about this last week. Okay. Now I like to mention another point before we go for some practice today. Now the Buddha advised Rahula to practice non-self and equanimity towards the four great elements. All right. Now, why is it? Because at the time, Rahula was at the age of 18. So when he saw their goals for Amraun, all the Buddha was walking in front of him. So the Rahula saw the Buddha's body was very beautiful. And he started to compare. He said, oh, I'm the son of the Buddha. So the Buddha is praised as having a beautiful body. So he, as the son of the Buddha, was having the same beautiful body. So he was very greatly attached to his appearance and body. So the Buddha, aware of his thought, and start to preach this Mahalahula Sutta to eradicate his craving towards his own body. And how to practice is try to see the four great elements and try to see them with equanimous. And this sutta is actually very nice because it compares with the if the earth element, like anything that earth element, whatever what is it? So when we say compare with the earth, this means that when you see your earth element, you just compare with outside earth element. Means that if people throw the dirty things, you see, if people throw the dirty things, unclean things, feces, urine, saliva, pus, blood on the earth, the earth outside. So the earth is not troubled by it. It's not disgusted by it. It remains equanimous. So we should practice our four great elements until we are equanimous towards it, no matter it's too hard, it's too soft, it's too rough or whatever. Okay, so that's the Buddha's advice. And so also, and the advantage is because he does not cling to the four great elements, so he let go the rupa. When he let go the rupa, this means that he will not cling to nama rupa. So that's why he immerses himself in voidness. So in Theravada, we have this word sunyata. So every time we look at the word sunyata, we start talking, what is sunyata? Sunyata is not talking you go to an empty place or a place you do. Sunyata, we are talking about empty, void of atta. All right, void of atta. That's the meaning of sunyata. So voidness means he no more cling to atta. So he eliminates the perception of living beings. So because of that, he will not be afraid of other wild things and so on. Because he has abolished the perception of living beings. So he conquer fear and dread, conquer the delight and aversion. So, and also because of that, he's no more disturbed by agreeable or disagreeable. That means that his mind is equanimous. So actually, four great elements is one of the meditation that very good to practice. Why? Because there are few reasons. Even though it lead to excess concentration only, and one thing is we can practice any posture, right? So we don't need to say we must sit down and meditate. Okay? Because if you have to wait for your time to sit down, so one day, how many times you sit down and meditate? Maybe half an hour or 1 hour. So the rest of 23 hours, okay, minus your sleeping time. Okay, so minus your sleeping time, you still have how many hours? 16 hours. Let's say 16 hours, right? So, so you can practice four great elements in any posture, right? So even like, let's say for you all, like me, when we wash our cup, so how you feel? The water is cool, right? And then what happened? So the body, sometimes you feel the body is warm. Sometimes you switch on the fan. You feel that the outside is cold. Your body is hot. And when you're doing walking meditation, you can feel the wind inside the body. Right? So that's why four great elements is good to practice any posture. That's one thing. And also whether you want to practice sitting, walking, it also depends on people. Some people, they have better concentration and better mindfulness and concentration during the walking time. They find that they be able to contemplate the Dhamma better. Because when you walk, you have to open your eyes, right? You cannot be sleepy. So you need to have more effort and mindfulness, especially when you're pressing your feet down. You can feel the earth element. Really, literally, the external earth element is hard. And your body, your feet, earth element is soft in comparison. All right. So you can practice in any time, walking or sitting, depends on oneself. Not to say you must sit down. Because if you compare the time you really can sit down and meditate, it's actually very less. But if you can practice when you go to walk, you're walking around doing your job, so you can just contemplate the four great elements. All right. Either you want to do in detail, like uh the 32 body parts, or in general, in brief, when we say in general, you just focus on the characteristic, all right? So characteristic of the four great elements. And when you practice, you can start with any element. So you can start with earth because earth is more obvious, or you can change to others, depends on yourself, right? And when you practice, you no need to label all this earth, this water, this fire or wind. No need. We just observe whatever comes and just aware they are parts of the characteristic of the four great elements, all right? Okay, now today we would go for more practice. Why? Because I recommend this meditation because with so many types of meditation, this is actually one of the obvious, very obvious. Well, let me open the notes today. Where is it? I put under the this one. Actually, I supposed to give this tomorrow, so I thinking myself instead of tomorrow to practice, so better practice today also, because I think most of you or some of you will never come for tomorrow class, right? You're all very busy. All right. Okay. Now, right. So we revise on the four great elements. So this is the last week. I do for the Chinese group. Okay. So today. All right. So 32 body parts. 20 is earth, 12 is water, 6 is wind, and 4. So literally, if we are talking about, we have 30, we are 40, 42, right? 42. We call it, you can call it body parts or whatever. Maybe 42 elements. But we can just focus on few is obvious one. So now, let's say, let's see. I think I go back to this one. For those who missed the previous class, let me revise. Where is it? Okay. Now, when we are talking about the earth elements, we are focusing more on the characteristic, right? It's not to say we are going to find a piece of like earth inside our body. We are talking about characteristic. So for Vipassana point, it's good if you practice in contrast, right? You observe the hardness and softness, smoothness and roughness, lightness and heaviness. All right. For example, one I will recommend, let's say if you are in sitting meditation, you can just focus on the whole body, right? And when you focus on the whole body, you notice that the lower part of body, the buttocks or bottoms touching the cushion, right? The cushion will be soft. Your body will be, maybe sometimes you feel hard. All right. Or if sometimes you feel the area is too big. So I recommend literally just kind of like when you're doing sitting meditation, you close your hand, right? So you can see the hand. You can just put the hand together like this, right? Like this. So what you feel that is, you can feel the bones. Bones is hard, all right? Your skin is soft. So you can feel that softness and hardness together. Or if you want, I mean, for some people prefer a very small area. Sometimes people people do not like to focus on the whole body. They say the whole body is too big because some people, they used to do anapanasati. They like to focus on a small area. So if you want to focus on small area, which small area? So literally you can just press the two thumbs together. Do you see that? So when you press the two thumbs together, you can just focus on sensation on the thumb. So when you focus here, how you feel? Okay, you all try now, right? Just put your hand together. How you feel now? So you press a little bit harder. You find hardness. You find the bones is hard. The flesh is, the skin is soft, right? So when you press for a long time, how you feel? You feel the heat. Okay, you feel the heat when the thumbs are touching, right? Sometimes when if you are working hard, maybe your hand is rough. Okay, sometimes it's smooth. All right. So try to focus on characteristic. Like lightness and heaviness also can. So when you're doing sitting meditation, you find that after you sit down, the lower part of body is heavy and the upper part of body is lighter in comparison. Or when you doing the standing meditation, lower part of body is heavy. So when you stand up like this, so of course the upper part must be light and then lower part must be heavy, right? Because if the upper part is heavy, you will fall down. Okay, so you can do in sitting or walking. So that's why earth element is actually very easy to notice. And for water elements, of course, if you want to do the 12 body parts, like all these okay, 12 body parts, you can focus. That is required one by one. Like if you can feel the phlegm or sweat or tears or snot or saliva. Especially, I think we can feel it's our saliva. So sometimes if, let's say after you do the earth element and you feel that you want to do water element, focus on which one you can feel like saliva, right? Which is obvious. You can find in your mouth. Okay. Or if you don't want to do the body parts, you can just focus on the characteristic. Now, characteristic of water element is what? Fluidity flowing. For example, your sweat flowing out. And you feel another one is cohesion or stickiness. Stickiness, huh? All right. For example, when you put the hand here for some time. What happened? You put the hand for some time. After that, you feel the hand very sticky, right? You feel the sweat coming out if you sit in a hot place. Or when you sit down, some people, they have more fire elements. So after they sit down, they feel the body is very hot and they start to sweat out, which is actually very natural, because some people, they have more heat. They can feel the heat. So they feel very sticky. So these are water elements. So either you focus on characteristic or you focus on body parts. Clear? Characteristic means all these characteristic. Body part is the 32 body parts. Okay. And then the wind element. So in brief, you can focus. There's the motion. For example, like when you're moving around. Okay. Like this is an example here, like the leaf moving around. Okay. Support. So you feel yourself is supported by the wind, right? So for example, body straight. So it's like when we blew the balloon. So the balloon has no air, it will not stand out. So when we blew the air into a balloon, so the balloon will stand by itself. So all the children love it because they can see the balloon stand out. All right. So either you can focus generally, in brief, generally, or in detail, you focus on outward wind, downward wind, the wind in the belly, the wind in the bowel, the wind that courses through the limbs, and in and out breath. Right. So that's for the wind. And then the body part, uh, warm, edges, burning, and then digestive. So for the fire, either you focus on the whole body, you feel the body is warm compared with outside temperature, or if you want to feel, you can feel there's a heat in the body, right? Our body has this heat, so it's very obvious among so many body parts. Some people feel that the stomach is more hot. Some people feel that inside the mouth that there's if they are more heaty element, in Chinese we call it the person is more heaty element. They feel that the mouth is more hot. All right. So what we do is we can just focus on all this, right? So all these element. Okay, now just go for a little bit some idea about how to practice. Now, earth element. So what you do is understand the characteristic. We call it general. So you find a suitable place, focus on any solid parts, bones, muscle, teeth, skin, or that's why I tell you all, if you want to focus, you can just put the hand together and just feel the bones, right? The bones, hardness, and your like pressure is soft. Or when you sit down, you focus your buttocks touching the cushion or hand touching each other, or you feel the tongue touching the teeth, right? So when your tongue touching the teeth is very rough, the tongue is smooth, all right? So suggestion is you try to feel the opposite. Like buttocks is hard and cushion is soft like this. And finally, whatever you do, you need to do a kind of like conclusion, right? Sometimes it's good to kind of like remind yourself the Vipassana point. This is not me, this is not mine, it's only the earth element. All right, so water element, liquid aspect, fluidity, cohesion. So you notice the fluidity, cohesion in your body, feel the sweat when falling out. So contemplate this not I, this not mine. Wind element I mentioned just now, there are 4 types. So you focus on the body temperature and also try to see always the contrast. For example, you can feel the inside the skin is warm, the outside is cold. And also aware the this is for you to be aware of the heat. Try to aware how the temperature change. Like morning is very little bit cold and afternoon become hot. When it become hot, your body sweat out, right? So try to aware temperature change. And always come to conclusion, this is not I, this is not mine. So the wind element, so observe the motion and supporting. So when you move around, when you're breathing, your stomach motion, feel the abdomen, the air coming in, going out, or the breathing. So when you stand up, feel the supporting here. Contemplate this I as this not mine. Okay, now how to contemplate? So this is I just give a few suggestions. Now the thing is there are many things. So earth, there are 6 characteristics. Right? So water is 2, wind are 6, fire are 4. So if you plus together, you got 10 plus, more than 10 plus. So which one to contemplate, right? So what you do is find the most obvious one. So when you close your eyes, some people also feel that they don't want to close their eyes because why? Because when we closing the eyes, the moment we close the eyes, it reminds us of sleeping time. Okay. So in some of the meditations, one of the one I told you, I think last week, we talked about the open awareness. So one of the center in Myanmar, they call it, even in Malaysia got another one. They are more on shu'um, more on open awareness. They actually train the meditator, do not close the eyes, open the eyes and meditate, right? Yeah. So when you open your eyes or close your eyes, if you like, choose the most obvious element. What's the most obvious element? So when you just kind of like put the attention inside the body, how you feel? Is it hot? Is it heavy? Is it light? Is it earth element more obvious? Or is it today you feel very hot, so your fire element is much obvious, right? So just find it. So after that, find it throughout the body. Let's say, for example, today, you feel hot. So you notice the body is hot. You notice the stomach is hot. You notice that your hand is hot. You notice your tongue is hot. Okay? So just find the same element, then you find it. Or another way, you don't choose it. So we call it a choiceless awareness. So you just keep the awareness on the body. So let the things come out by itself. So that's why you call it choiceless awareness. Let it come. So when it comes, you just notice, oh, it's hot, it's cold, it's heavy, it's light, and so on. Or you can start systematically according to Pali, Patawi, Apo, Tejawa. Start with the earth, then we go to water, then fire and wind. Okay? That's one way we can try. So suggestion in walking meditation, uh, the ground is hard. So always do the comparison. So ground is hard, foot is soft. Lifting, sometimes when you lift the foot, you find it's light, sometimes it's heavy. So when you push the foot forward, it's a wind motion. So standing, body, right? So I suggest when you try to see different elements like earth, water, fire together, it will be interesting, right? So it will be more interesting rather than just one element. So if you can combine few, it's more interesting. So apply in your life. So try to aware when you're eating, exercising, and so on. Okay. And finally come to the conclusion, and even you're sick, right? Because of the 4 great elements is being disturbed. So always come to it. There's no I, there's no mind. All these are 4 great elements. Right. So I think for those who attend this class today, tomorrow you don't need to come for Friday class. Because tomorrow I will talk about same thing. But tomorrow we practice more. Okay, now I think we can go for some 10 minutes practice because I think it's a little bit rush if I'm going to teach one subject in Visuddhimagga and next week I go for another subject. It actually hectic for me because I had to find the material and revise the material. So we start with the 4 great elements today, right? Okay, now we just go for 10 minutes or 15 minutes, all right? So I want you to just try this method. Okay. Try number 1 or 2 or 3, up to you. So after that, we can come for discussion after 15 minutes. Okay, we can start now. I will just pause the recording. Any question you want to ask? All right, so while waiting for people to think about something to ask. Sometimes there's also few reasons why people don't want to ask questions. One thing is shy. Another thing is they don't know what to ask. Another thing is they're not practicing correctly. Another thing is they know everything. There's so many possibilities. Yes, Brother Ko, you want to ask something? Yes.
So much of asking, but
Mm?
it is a sort of a observation.
Mm-hmm.
I find that if I let the element manifest itself, then it becomes very difficult to what do you call? It becomes very random.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh,
Yeah,
it
it's
jump here.
correct. Because that's the nature of non-self. You know, when Buddha taught to the Rahura, then at the end he stressed about non-self. Actually, when you just focus on four great elements, you really see non-self because the things just happen by themselves. Sometimes it's hard, sometimes it's heavy, sometimes it's light. Then after that, then you feel the body is very hot, right? So they come randomly. Then you understand that you are not in control of the body at all.
Yeah, but the thing is that maybe for initial practitioner,
Yeah, right.
it becomes a bit scary. That's one.
Then you choose this one. You go for number one. Just choose,
Yeah,
for example, you find which part is obvious. Let's say earth element hard. Then you find the bones is hard, the hand is hard, the teeth is hard. Then you focus on the whole body until you feel that the whole body is very hard. Then you don't like it. I mean, that's true. When the moment you find the whole body is very hard, then you just look for softness. Okay?
yeah. If it's a
Yeah.
systematic way,
Mm-hmm.
then maybe for the beginners, it is
Yeah, yeah, right. Yes.
easier. Then
Yes.
secondly, after a while, then we can relate to the so-called
Yeah, right. That's
cannot
why
control.
That's why for Mahasi method, when you do walking meditation, you're supposed to do slowly. You know how they walk? Slowly, like left, right, then lifting, pushing, dropping. Because Mahasi method, I find is actually very good for as a beginners because the systematic way of teaching allow people to understand about the elements. Like the ground is hard, the foot is soft like this. So after you learn Mahasi, uh, then after that you go for Vedana, right? Then you go for Chitta, then you go for Dhamma. Or after Mahasi, maybe you want to go for Shumin, go for open awareness. No? Yeah, right? So all the methods actually is good as long as it leads to the idea of anicca dukkha anatta, right?
Mm,
Okay.
Like
Thank you for your observation. I mean, you find it's random, but actually that's the nature of elements. That's why when we say, what happened when we cannot control the elements? What happened? When we fall sick. We fall sick when we are no more, even though we say we are supposed to be control element. But you notice that why do we drink water? Because the body is hot, heat. When you're doing a lot of exercises, that you feel you just want to drink water because you're no more in control of the fire element. There's lacking of water element. So the moment you practice more and more and more of four great elements, you can bear the suffering of sickness because you can understand this is just a correction of aggregates, the water and fire, all this happen to our five aggregates, the rupa kanda, right? And that's why this method is good. Why? You can practice anytime, anywhere. Even though you go to toilet, you notice the feces, urine. When you brush the teeth, you notice that the teeth is very hard. When you're drinking the water, right? Sometimes I find that I'm the one talking and somebody keep on drinking water. Maybe they feel that I'm thirsty. Okay. All right. So actually, the four great elements really teach you about non-self. Actually, I really like it because sometimes I find that it's like just force the mind to observe the breathing. breathing is just among the 32 body parts or 42 body parts, breathing is just only one wind element, you know. If when you notice breathing, what you're trying to see is the wind element coming in, going out, arising and passing away. But it's only one of them. There are many things you should, when you're moving around, okay, when you are talking, even you're blinking the eyes, all these are movement, right? And when you're naturally sneezing and wind and belly, or when you feel the heat, you just put your hand on your stomach, you find the wind, the beside the wind, also you find the heat in the stomach. So all these are part of the nature of the body. So when we say yada Buddha means as it really is. Okay. So try to practice four great elements. I find it's very beneficial for me, especially when I doing the last week on the Friday class, we talking about the open awareness, where we do this, we call it choiceless awareness, or we call it open awareness, where you just don't force the mind to fix on one object. Because sometimes it's very stressful for the mind, you know. For example, when you're supposed to not on the breathing, then you cannot find the breathing. The mind go to panic mode, you know. You notice the mind. But sometimes you just tell the mind, okay, don't need to borrow the breathe, don't need to bother about the breathing. Just focus on or just aware of anything that comes out, whether it's breathing or is it the heat or is it the water element or is it the earth element, all right? Just let it be. Or sometimes when we say you want to make it interesting, besides doing the notice the competition elements, also element and characteristic, right? Which I means that it's like hardness, softness, all this combination. When there's hard, there will be soft. When there's very light, there's a heavy. So for example, when you notice the skin is cold, hot, and outside is cold, like this. So when you try to see the elements and characteristics, you find it's interesting. Then your mind will not get to boredom. The moment your mind is bored, you know what happened? You go to endless wandering thoughts. You know, you thinking about this and that, you don't want to come back home. All right. Okay. Okay, we will have, if no question, we'll have 5 minutes break. I think I still need to follow the Visuddhimagga. We need to go for Alupa, immaterial, by reading the book. Any last question? Okay. Right. So we 5 minutes break and we continue.